What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey, everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight. Hope I pronounced this right. We have Saiseiga. Yes, indeed. How about that? Saiseiga making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from AB5, and this is actually AB5's prioritized request for the month of April for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, AB5. Hope you enjoy the show. AB5 wanted to see me react to this. It is Saiseiga with a tune called Jumble. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second. Yeah, I've heard this song before. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Saiseiga Official, okay? And the video has 65,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Right off the gun. First thing out the gate. Official video. Wah, wah, wah.
Boy, shut up.
Man, there it is. Right out the gun. Official. Yeah, coming off of their official channel. So, yeah, there it is. Look, you know what I'm going to say, so I ain't going to say it. All I'm going to say is we're have to just wait and see what happens and hope for the best. Saiseiga Jumble. There it is. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Okay. I'm liking everything I'm hearing. I really am. The guitar tone, thick and crunchy without being too thick, thankfully. Got a little bit of that reverb on there, which is nice to give it just a little bit of a bleed over, just ever so slightly to help keep the subdivision work, which we're going to talk about in a little bit more in detail. But to keep their attacks and their cutoffs from sounding dry and from sounding sterile. So that's nice. I like that. The bass tone, same thing. Got that little bit of a string rattle in there, which is really nice for this style of song for sure. The drumming, I love the patterns that they're coming up with there. Nice. Playing around with feel. Straight time, half time. I like it. The vocals, I like the blend. It's like the grit and growl vocal is definitely there. It's definitely present. It's definitely making its presence felt. But this song is leaning mostly toward melodic singing, clean vocal. I would say it's about 30 to 35% grit and growl, along with 65 to 70% clean vocal. I like that ratio. I do. I prefer it that way, actually. It just, for me personally, it's a little more pleasing to the ear. But she's doing a fine job on both sides of the coin. You know, whether she's doing the grit and growl vocal or the clean vocal, it sounds really good. The biggest thing for me is the play around with subdivision, especially since it's syncopated subdivision work. When everybody is playing the exact same notes at the exact same time with those accented subdivisions, it sounds really good. It sounds tight, but it doesn't sound sterile because you got that just enough reverb to cause just a little bit of bleed over, so it sounds natural. It doesn't sound so overly compressed and so overly, scrubbed that it sounds synthetic. You know what I mean? It sounds organic. I love that. I absolutely love that. But the subdivision work is nice. It's not overly complicated. It's all based around eighth note subdivisions. But it's being done well. So I got no issue with it. Not just eight. Obviously there's, like quarter notes. It's not just, it's not just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what. No, there's rests in there too, guys, causing those breakups. I like that. Gives it that little bit of an extra heavy feel, which I absolutely dig on. Now, look, so far I'm digging everything I'm hearing. I got no complaints about anything I'm hearing. So let's get back into this and let's see where this goes. Okay, guitar solo. I'm talking about. Probably my favorite part of the song is those subdivisions, man. I love it. Those syncopated subdivisions.
In the
Okay. Yep. I already know what I'm going to say. I've already got all my thoughts together pretty much already. Strangely enough, I don't have a score yet. I know what I want to say. I know how I'm going to back up the score I'm going to give, but I don't know what score I'm going to give it yet. That's weird. I think that's only happened to me like 3 or 4 times on the channel to this date. So this is an extreme rarity. I need to come up with a score. Let me get my thoughts together. As far as giving this a score goes, let me come up with a score, and I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Saiseiga with Jumble. This was a request from AB5. Boy, I really hope I'm pronouncing the name of the band right. If I'm not, in the comments, let me know how it should be pronounced. Just as long as you're all on the same page. I don't want 10 of you coming at me with 10 different ways to pronounce it. Consensus, folks. Consensus. Okay, I knew what I was going to discuss in the review before I had a score, and I had to think about the score a little bit because I kept drawing a blank. I'm like, okay, there's got to be a score I can give this that makes sense with what I want to discuss. Well, I have a score now, and thinking about it, taking everything I'm going to talk about, it makes perfect sense. So, at least to me, it does. We'll see if you agree with me or not. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.4. Yep, 7.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.4. What does that mean? Well, a 7.4 would translate to a really good scale rating. Because overall, I think this is a really good song. It would get 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. So there you go, a 7.4, really good scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. The strongest thing about this song, if I'm being honest, at least for me, this is just me personally, I think the most impressive thing about this song was the syncopated subdivision work. It was impactful. Right from the beginning of the song, it just hits you right in the ribcage. And every time they would come back to it, it would just re-establish that driving force. And I dug it. I really dug that. It was my favorite part of the song, if I'm being honest. I'm sure other people are going to disagree with me and say that the chorus was their favorite part. I'm not going to argue with them. I see the appeal of the chorus. It's between having that halftime feel, which I really dug on, and having the melodics that were being utilized in there, the main melodic line going against the chordal progression, I see the appeal. I can see that being the hook. And I think for most people, it is going to be the hook. And I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to argue that. Everyone's going to like what they're going to like. All I'm saying is, for me personally, those syncopated subdivisions, man, oh God, every time they came in, every single time it came in, it hit me right in the chest. And I was like, oh God, yes, I love that. It felt so good. And the reason it felt so good is it wasn't scrubbed in post-production so hard that it sounded sterile and digital. They left it organic, which I really appreciated. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there was some compression done, obviously. I'm sure there might have been some limiting done, obviously, but because it was clean and consistent every single time, but it still had a little bit of that bleed over, and I really appreciated that. It's not much. It's literally like that much on every single note, but at the same time, it didn't sound like a keyboard, you know what I mean? Or it didn't sound like a digital, program. It sounded real. It sounded like real guitars, and real bass. The guitar tone and the bass tone, loved both of them. They both had the qualities I really kind of look for for a tone in this style of song. Thick, crunchy guitars without being overly crunchy to the point that it gets muddy, and you have that bass with a nice smile curve with a little bit of string rattle in it. Yeah, I liked it. I absolutely liked it. Very fitting for the style of song. The drumming on this was really well done. Some nice creative fills, setting up each transition from phrase to phrase. Great job playing around with feel. I think that's one of the, besides the subdivision work, I think that was one of the strongest things going for this song was the play around with feel. And I mean that in two different ways, okay? You have the established tempo for most of the song throughout, between the verses and the chorus, where they were playing around with straight time and half time and double time. Okay, there was that. But whenever we would go into the syncopated subdivision work, it changed up. The tempo changed slightly, the style and approach changed slightly as well. So it was, I'm not saying this is what happened, but it kind of gave the illusion of two different songs, which I found interesting. I'm not saying I loved it, but I found it interesting, and it kept you on your toes, and it kept you engaged. And it did it in such a way that it did capture your attention, it did grab your attention, but it didn't sound disjointed. It didn't feel like it was two completely separate songs. No, there was definitely a bridge there between the two, and it worked. So I got no issue with it. Vocally, I talked about this at length during the course of the reaction. I like her vocal style. I really do. I like her blend. Whenever she would go to the grit and growl vocal, I think she did a really good job with it. And whenever she would go to her melodic singing, I also thought she did a really good job with it. I'm not going to sit here and say I was blown away by either one, but both aspects, both sides of the coin that she was able to demonstrate, I think she did a really nice job with. No, overall, I got no complaints about this song whatsoever. I think it's a really good song overall. So yeah, a 7.4. I feel good with that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.4, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.